we have a short description of the problem. And we know that the maximum amplitude, what that is, A max, is equal to 0.2 meters. And its maximum speed, so V max, is equal to 1.2 meters per second. And we need to find the period of this. So now what we can do is, let's rewrite the usual formula, which is A cosine of Wt minus the angle phase shift. So A max is also equals to A, because A equals to the maximum amplitude all the time. So we can simply write as 0.2 times cosine of Wt minus phase shift. If you don't believe me, think about this. Cosine can be either between -1 and 1. Therefore, the biggest value that x can get is equals to the A, because it's got to be multiplied to -1 or 1. That's the biggest value that cosine can have. So the maximum amplitude is going to be equal to A, which is simply going to be equal to the same maximum amplitude we found before. Anyway, then we know that the velocity maximum is 1.2. Now, the velocity is equal to x dot, right? So let's derive this, and we get WA in front of negative the sine WT minus the phase shift. Now we said the A is 0.2, so negative 0.2 W sine of WT minus the phase shift. So now we have two different equations that look actually very similar to each other. Now, one thing that you have to remember is that the mass, the block, will have the highest speed. So Vmax will happen when x is equal to 0. I'm not going to go into detail to explain it, but if you need to explain it, you probably should go back and consider when x equals 0 and when the string is moving. Anyway, so we have to find when this one is equal to 0. When is equal to 0? Well, 0.2 cannot be equal to 0, so we have to think about cosine of this. When is cosine equal to 0? Well, when the inside is equal to 90, or pi over 2. So we can say that Wt minus the phase shift is equal to pi over 2. Or plus or minus, of course, pi over 2. Now, then we have to go down and plug it in here, because that's when the velocity is maximum. So we have negative 0.2 W sine of, and then we know that it's equal to plus or minus pi over 2. And is equals to velocity maximum, which is at 1.2. Now, we have a negative here, and we do not have a negative here. So we want this part here to be a negative. So we're going to have negative 1, we want. So in order to get negative 1 from the sign, we have to get inside negative pi over 2. So our actual answer will be negative 0.2 W sine of negative pi over 2 is equals to 1.2. And then we will get 0.2 W is equals to 1.2. So W is equals to 1.2 divided by 0.2, that is equals to 6. Now with this, we can find the period, which is 2 pi over W, which is simply going to be equals to 2 pi divided by 6, which is 1/3 pi, which is about 1.05 seconds. And that is our final answer. This is the solution to our problem. Now, there is another way to solve this. I'm not going to show it, but you can try and find it, since you already have all the material that you're going to need.